Hi, it's Sandy Parker, and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. Today we're going to be looking at some products that a nice company called Global Land sent me, and I hope you'll stay tuned. Well, the first thing they sent me was this set of 3 layered die sets, and the one I use is obviously the one that's all cut apart here. And they were easy to cut apart, I will say that, and the little circles all around the edge cut out every time. Here's one. I hope you can see the little dots are all cut out. The biggest die is, I'll go from the 12-inch side because that's how I roll. It is 5.5 inches tall by 4 4.25. I thought it was more like 4 3/8, but it is 4 1/4 inches wide. And then the smallest one is this teeny tiny one in the center, and it is 1.25 inches by 1/4 inch. So it's really small, that little piece there. The rest of them are all the same. The biggest one is the same size. The smallest ones obviously are different, but I really like this one with the circles, and I like this one that had these diamonds cut into it. And then this one has stitches. So 3 different ideas. Today we're going to be using the one with the circles in it. The other thing they sent me is this, what do you call that? Label? Tag? Tag! That's what it is. It's a tag punch. Made that up in 3 different sizes. And what I thought I would do is show you how to emboss and then cut out. And so I have a piece of blue cardstock here that I used my embossing pouch on, that I made myself out of an old nylon with cornstarch in it. And if you don't have something to take your fingerprints or any kind of moisture off of your paper, what's going to happen is you're going to leave behind little crumbs that you're going to heat emboss right into your background, and you don't want that. And I'm choosing a light, it's a yellow that matches the paper that I punched that's underneath this, and I thought that'd be really cute for this. Well, it's a sympathy card, so I guess not cute is the word, but I thought it would really match. And then the stamps I'm using didn't want to stick to my MISTI. These kind of, I'm looking to make sure it's straight. The little stamps that you get in, like in magazines, sometimes they don't want to stick to anything, basically. And so what I like to do when I have one that's making me mad is I like to use some glue stick. If you've never tried this, it works like a champ. And look how great that impression is. Perfect. Never happens like that usually for me. If all of you are out there going, geez, you've been doing this forever, Sandy, I'm sure by now you've mastered that. No. Light colors especially I struggle with in these kinds of, in this arena. I'm just going to use a very small piece of paper because I don't have much, I'm not going to be putting much embossing powder on this, but I want to put it on something so that when I tip it back off, if I can open the little container. I got this in a set of stuff. You know how you get like a kit? Here's a word to the wise. If you ever have one of these, check to see if there's a little plastic piece of thing holding it closed. That could be handy, Sandy. Just saying. I'm teaching myself valuable tricks today. Okay, here we go. Okay. Just going to put it right like that, and then tip it. Now, if you end up getting little anything left behind, and you might, because that could happen, what you'd want to do, and I'll show you because, you know, why not just make a mess like I did? I always, and I'm not kidding you, always struggle with little, no, not little, with light colored embossing powders. I don't know why, but for some reason when I do anything with light colors, it's a mystery to me why, even though I use the buddy to get the things off. I don't know, can you see the jello crumbs that are right there and right here? If you don't get those off, you're going to end up having those heated and they'll turn darker and you'll see them really well and you'll be mad at yourself. So take the time now to blow off as much as you can and to get them out of your, to get it off your background before you heat set this. Okay, then you're going to take your heat tool and you're going to really warm it up. If you didn't know, I use Versamark ink. That's a clear ink that you use to for under things like this. But I'll tell you what I would normally do. I would normally stamp with a yellow and then put the embossing powder on it, because the yellow will make it so that it really the embossing powder has something that it colors over. There it is. Now you're going to want to let that sit for just a second so that it has a chance to cool off before you do the punching. And then we're going to punch. So this has a space for 1.5 inches, which is what my piece of paper is. It has a space for 2 inches, which if you see, hopefully you can see these lines. There's a line here and here. That's a 2-inch one. And then all the way out is for 2.5 inches. And then it's going to create a really nice top to your tag. Wasn't hard to do it all. Ooh, look at how it has an embossed. Can you see that the circle's embossed? And I decided what I was going to do is I was going to do it on both ends and make it look even more fun, hopefully. I want to see if that took anything off of it, because when I did this originally, I'm going to cut just a titch off of this, because I want this to be a little bit shorter. And I don't know if it will be a little bit shorter when I'm done. So why not just do it now, right? Because if I punch it, there's no going back. I'm sure you know that. No going back. Once you've got that paper gone, there's no going back. I also have, this is really cool. I'm going to say this. This worked like a champ. It wasn't hard to punch at all. And I'm using Stampin' Up! Paper, so it's a little bit thicker. And I wanted this a little bit offset. I don't know if you can see that these are little, circles have a little embossed edge around them. That's really fun. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it like this in the center of the front of my card. And then after I do that, the next thing I'm going to do is I have this butterfly that I'm going to put like over in here somewhere. I haven't decided yet. But anyway, that's the plan. I'm going to put it like this. Run it through here like that. And then put the ends through it. And then I'm going to pull that through and put it on the back. I know I got a lot of extra back there. I'm going to pull it. Why don't you want to play with me? Come on, buddy. Why? There we go. Like that. And then I'm going to take it and I'm going to run it behind it like this with more glue. Hopefully it'll hold it. And I'm going to cut that piece. Actually, I think I'm going to have to use like a tear tape there, because I don't think my little Elmer's glue thing is going to work. Clearly my scissors aren't cutting. Things are just not going well today. The other side, again, you're going to loop it from the front. You're going to run it, that loop, through the front. Like that. And then from the side, you're going to pull your loop. And then from the side, you're going to pull it through. Like, I got to scooch in more. Like that. Then I'm going to take some tear tape. As I said, I think it's too tricky to not use tear tape on the back here. I'll just run it the whole way across, and then I'll put a piece. Now I'm going to put foam under it. I'm changing my mind as I go. You know, this is how I roll now. Can't make up my mind about anything. All right, so I'm gonna pull that tight and then run it right like that. And I got both of them in the background. Again, pulling it tight and pulling them a little bit so that they're separated. I think I'm going to use tear tape instead of this because it doesn't seem like, I don't know. I've never used kids glue to hold a card together, and I don't want my friends to get this and say, what the heck, Sandy? It's all in 50 pieces. All right, now I'm going to grab, I have these little foam strips that are very thin, but they'll work perfectly for something like this. They work really good for shaker cards. I got them on Amazon, in case you wondered. Put that section right through the center. In the inside of the card, I stamped more of the sentiment. It says, there are no words, we're just so sorry. I thought I'd put something else in there, like maybe another butterfly, but I like the idea of the butterfly. And then we're going to get our butterfly. And I'm going to think about, I guess I can't bend it. I'm trying to think about where I can put this so that it I can always put that one down there. Is it even straight? Let's see how straight that our sentiment is. It is straight. Now, here is another type of eraser. It might take it off. I really don't know why that's even there, but whatever. Okay, well, we'll just close it up like this. And then there's always the option to put something in these corners, but I don't think I'm going to, because I think it's simple and okay, just like this. But I also wanted to show you the third thing I got. So the last thing that I was sent was this really cute wax seal stamp from Global Land, and hopefully you can see that. It's a cat and a mouse. The mouse is handing the cat a little bouquet of flowers, and I thought I would show you how I figured out how to do this. I know for those of you who know anything about wax seals, you know that most people will use one of these. It's got underneath you have the little wax candle that you light, and 7 hours later you've melted it. Well, that got annoying to me. It took me way too long. In came Sandy's heat tool. I found that this does a great job of melting it, and not only melting it, but if you don't like the results, it will remelt. And I just put it under there like that, and then on top to make sure that the top is nice and melted. And then I bought this little tool from Temu. It's silicone, and it does a great job of helping you get everything out of your little spoon. Whereas before, I don't know if you've ever done this, but before you end up having half of your wax in your little spoon that you can't get out, and this does a great job of taking it out. Now you're saying to yourself, yeah, you got it out, Sandy, but then how are you going to get it to go from your little spoon onto the backing as this is drying? Yeah, that's a problem, until I realized that all I need to do is just basically scoop it off like this. I'm going to put it right on that. Make sure it's in the center of your already melted wax. You don't want it on the edges, and I'll show you why in a minute. And then just going to try and get the rest of this off. It gets warm, or not warm, it gets cool really fast, so it ends up being more warm that you want it to be, don't worry. This is a marble piece that is just a scrap of marble. Then what I did is I just took my heat tool, went around the edges, and if you want it to be wider, hopefully you can see this. If you want it to be wider, you just push toward the edges. And if it looks wonky on one side, just like that side there, it looks more oval. Just want to push it. Okay. I think at this point, it's probably big enough. And then you're going to take your stamp and center it. And then because this is so hot right now, it does a really good job of pushing into that wax. And then the rest that's in here, I just basically scrape it off with my fingernail, or you can heat it again and wipe it off. You can do basically anything you'd normally do for cleanup. But what's really great is this. Watch cleanup on this. It's literally this easy. You just pick it off and it's gone. Loved it. Way happier. I have been working on this wax seal technique forever, it seems like, and I never was able to get a really good impression and get what I wanted, like with an even border all the way around and to have it look really nice. Okay, you ready? Look how great that came out. I'm going to wait a little bit for it to cool off, but I'll hold it up for you. Can you see that? How many times have you ever seen anybody's wax seal come out that decent? Mine usually come out looking wonky and weird. Now, I have a little bubble here in the side. That doesn't really bother me, but if it bothers you, all you'd have to do is take your heat tool and, well, I'll show you. Just on that edge. There you go. I melted the cat again. Don't worry! I melted the cat again. Let's just, if you don't like your image, which could happen, and in this case, I don't like that I had a little boo-boo right there. Okay. I'm teaching you everything you need to know about this and more. Make sure you get that to go to the bottom, or, you know, really get in there. Okay. I got this, it's a mold for wax, and I thought the mold was way too big. Oh, and Global Land will give you a 10% discount with Sandy 10, and if you use the links that they give you, I think it incorporates the 10% right in the link. I might be wrong, but I think it does. Anyway, one thing I want you to know is I am not affiliated with them. I don't get any money for them, you know, for if any of the things if you would buy them. I just want to tell you that. Okay, let's see. We got that off. Ready for the big reveal? I had a little bit of gold left in my spoon, so that's why it has these gold swirls in the bottom. Look how cute that is. Ta-da! I bet you guys are saying to yourself, why didn't we ever think of that before? Yeah, that's what I said too. Let me color my cat and my mouse. I thought I'd do the mouse in a light brown, more like a mouse color. Yeah, I said mouse color. And that way you can see the little mouse better. And then I'm going to do the flower in purple color, so hopefully you can see the color, see it better. And then I think I'm going to make my cat brown. No, not brown, black. Did you know that black cats are the least adopted of all cats and the most euthanized? That broke my heart, because both of our cats that we adopted are black, and they're just the sweetest little things. They were both, well, the mother was feral, and Rich and I started feeding her last winter, and then when we got her spayed this spring, they said to us, yeah, by any chance did she gain some weight? And we said, no, she's always been this thin. And they said, well, did she leave for a while? We said, no, she's been around consistently. And they said, well, she tested positive for lactation, but that can happen when it's not really the case. You know, she didn't really have kittens. So we went with that idea until Father's Day, when she produced her babies for Rich. And then unfortunately one of them didn't, she didn't, I think it was a little girl, she didn't thrive. And the other one did thrive. And he is exactly the color of his mother, except for she has a little white tip on the end of her tail, and he is all black with just a white spot on his neck. She also has a white spot on her neck. Anyway, they are so sweet, and Rich never thought he was a cat man, and now all of a sudden he's definitely a cat man. They are going to give you a 10% discount with the code SANDY10. There's no capital letters. It's SANDY10, and I'll have Rich put it right on the screen for you. I hope that this gave you some ideas of how to use these, because they are kind of tricky if you use them the old way with the matches and the candles and all the work. And I really, really love this die, or this punch. It punches so simply, and I love doing the punch on both ends to make it look not like a tag. So I hope you got some ideas from this, that you give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And please tell your friends about me on social media, because you know I love that. And thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.